Part 10. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 93. It was different from Sarutobi Hiruzen's almost despairing mood. Sarutobi Asuma was relieved. One way or another. He had already killed Mito Manabu and Koharu. At least. He got a chance to live. Can I survive? Sarutobi Asuma asked with expectation in his eyes. What are you saying? However, Hinatan Nariku asked directly. Didn't you already reject my conditions? Sarutobi Asuma was stunned as if he was struck by lightning. Rejection? What kind of rejection? Haven't I already killed both of them? Sarutobi Asuma said incoherently. After a while, he realized what Hinatan Nariku meant. He had previously rejected Hyuga Nariku's conditions in order to facilitate a sneak attack. Wrong. I just pretended to refuse. I just wanted to make them relax their vigilance so that it would be easier to kill them. Sarutobi Asuma roared at the top of his lungs. It was like a drowning man who finally grabbed a life-saving straw, but was suddenly cut off. Yet. Hyuga Nariku tilted his ears, as if he just understood it. In this case, we didn't explain it clearly just now and didn't count it. I can give you another chance, this time the target is him. Hyuga Nariku pointed towards the back of Sarutobi Asuma. Sarutobi Asuma's body trembled. Who is the person behind him? There is only one person there now. His father. Sarutobi Hiruzen. That means, he have to kill his father to have a chance to survive? For a moment, Sarutobi Asuma felt a little excited in his heart. But soon, he reacted. You are playing tricks on me again, right? Just like before. Sarutobi Asuma said angrily to Hinatan Nariku. This bastard never thought of letting him go. He just wanted to torture them in this way. No. Hyuga Nariku shook his head seriously and said. This time I'm serious. If you do, I can indeed let you go. After this, as long as you don't mess with me again, I can promise not to hold you accountable for anything. Whether you want to stay in Konoha or go anywhere in the ninja world, no one will stop you. Hyuga Nariku is indeed serious this time. Asuma Sarutobi, dead or immortal, has no impact on him. In comparison, let Hiruzen Sarutobi and Asuma Sarutobi and his son experience it. The feelings of Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi in the original work seemed a little more interesting. Asuma Sarutobi hesitated for a moment. He could feel that Hyuga Nariku was indeed serious this time. But the conditions this time were different from before. Mito Manabu and Kaden Koharu are, after all, just classmates of his father. And this time his target is his father himself. If he really takes action, he will never think about being able to appear in the sun again in the future. Got it? If it's a matter of your reputation, there's no need to worry about this. Are there not enough ridiculous things in the ninja world? After this, you can go to another place where no one knows you, change your name, and start a new life. Hyuga Nariku's words were like a devil's hell, causing Sarutobi Asuma to gradually become silent. Asuma. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at his youngest son with disbelief. Hesitated. Asuma actually hesitated. He is really considering whether to take action. Asuma really has the idea of attacking him. At this time, the ninjas who went to hunt down the 4 ninja rebels also came back one after another. All rebels have been cleared. Uchiha Shisui reported. Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi were slow for a while and then rushed back. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt gloomy when he saw this. The clan was wiped out? They were really wiped out? Not even one of them survived. None. Okay, Sarutobi Asuma, tell me your choice. Hyuga Nariku said to Sarutobi Asuma, who was still silent. Or, you can just do it without opening your mouth. As long as you can complete your goal, I promise you on behalf of everyone that I will let you go and will not pursue your past affairs again. Uchiha Itachi looked at the scene and thought about the previous situation. Both Mito Kato and Koharu's injuries were caused by kunao. And the kunao in Sarutobi Asuma's hand still had blood stains on it. In other words, these two people were killed by Asuma Sarutobi. And according to Hyuga Nariku, Asuma Sarutobi's goal should not be completed yet. After completing this goal, he can be let go. Uchiha Itachi looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen on the other side. It should be obvious who the final target is. Are father and son killing each other? Uchiha Itachi's face was expressionless, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Sarutobi Asuma's body trembled, and he clenched the kunao in his hands with both hands. Turn around. Facing the direction of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Father, forgive me. Sarutobi Asuma thought silently in his heart. He must live. He and his father were the only two people left in the Sarutobi clan. If he didn't take action, both he and his father would die here today. If he takes action, at least he can be left alone. The Sarutobi clan can still continue. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Sarutobi Asuma, who was gradually approaching him. His heart was filled with despair. His son is coming to kill him. Not to mention that he is now being tapped and has no way to resist. Even if he had the strength to resist now, he didn't know what to do. The father and son, Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi, watched this scene quietly without any intention of stopping it. It's like watching a comical play. A hilarious and ugly show. At this time, Hinata Nariku's eyes moved slightly. He sensed a slight fluctuation in space. On Sarutobi Hiruzen's side. Without thinking much, Hinata Nariku subconsciously pulled out the Kusanagi sword, with the thunder chakra attached to it, and slashed at the swirling twisting sword that suddenly appeared in front of him. Uchiha Obito, who had just come out of the Kamui space, felt a burst of wind with a slight thunder coming towards him. Laugh. The sound of swords cutting flesh and blood. Uchiha Obito, who was wearing a black robe, was cut in half by the Kusanagi sword. However, one of Obito Uchiha's hands had already touched Hiruzen Sarutobi. The next second, Uchiha Obito disappeared with only his upper body left. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had been lying on the spot, also disappeared. Only half of Hyuga Nariku's body was left diagonally chopped off. Hinata Nariku ignored that half of the body and stayed there quietly. The spatial fluctuations did not reappear. 5 minutes later, the half of the body left on the ground slowly became transparent and disappeared. P.S. Let me complain, this plot feels too underworld, but the subtle sense of symmetry makes me want to write it like this. Also, the blow to Sarutobi Hiruzen is not enough, there will be a follow-up, I hope everyone don't be too hasty. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 94. In the Divine Space. Hiss. Drops of cold sweat slid down Uchiha Obito's face under his mask. When he came here before, he found that Hinata Nariku was still alive. He even came back before he knew when. Looking at the situation at the scene, Obito understood that Sarutobi Hiruzen's action had also failed. However, in his opinion, the old guy Hiruzen Sarutobi still has some use. Therefore, he quietly approached Sarutobi Hiruzen and tried to capture him into the Kamui space. Unexpectedly, he just came out of the divine space for a while. Hinata Nariku slashed at him with his sword. With no time to put himself into the Kamui space, Obito could only consume the 3 Megatama Sharingan in his left eye and activated Izanagi. But, although by activating Izanagi, the damage he received can be transformed into a dream. But the pain caused by his injury at this moment is real. At that moment, his body was split into 2 pieces by Hinata Nariku. It was as if his body was made of paper. Not only that, Obito can still feel a kind of lightning paralysis in his wound. The sword just now actually had thunder attribute chakra attached to it. No, it's too fast. Uchiha Obito thought back to Hinata Nariku's speed just now. It was as if Hyuga Nariku had noticed it just when he was about to come out of the Kamui space. How could this happen? Does that guy also know the time and space ninjutsu? Obito's expression was a little solemn. If you have mastered the time and space ninjutsu, you must be more careful in the future. Hinata Nariku suddenly appeared from a strange passage. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was captured in the Kamui space, said, "I'll." Uchiha Obito's pupils shrank. He became more and more convinced that Hinata Nariku had indeed mastered a space-time ninjutsu. He could even detect space fluctuations just when he was about to come out of the Kamui space. What's going on here? Shaking his head and not thinking about that for the time being, Uchiha Obito looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a gloomy look. Didn't you agree that after calling all 4 of you ninjas from the ninja clan, you would go support the Kirigakure ninjas outside? Why did you come to Hinata? Obito already knows that the thousands of Kirigakure ninjas outside the village have been defeated. Sarutobi Hiruzen also had a dark expression. He did not expect that the Kirigakure ninjas would be defeated so quickly. What he originally thought was that if he could do it again if he takes control of Konoha, it would be best if the Kirigakure controlled by this masked man is weakened a little. Let the Kirigakure ninjas spend a little more time outside the village. If Mito Kadoyan and Koharu are transferred to another dormitory, then Hinata will be destroyed first. Hoping to scare other ninjas. It was you who said that Hinata Nariku was dead, but he came back, and we fell short. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a sullen face. Not only did he fall short of success. All 4 of their ninja clans were exterminated. Where are you? Why not bring the Kyuubi Jinchuriki here to help? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked. If this strange masked man has the 9 tails Jinchuriki in his hands, he can completely release the 9 tails. At least, it can also cause some trouble for those guys like Hyuga Nariku. Obito heard this, his face turned even uglier. He also failed there. It was all done by your good apprentice Jiraiya. If it hadn't been for him, the 9 tails Jinchuriki would have gotten it long ago. Jiraiya. Sarutobi Hiruzen was in a daze for a while. He was sure that Jiraiya would never stand on his side. Even his son Sarutobi Asuma had just planned to kill him to survive. Hinata Nariku, that bastard, he ruined everything for me. Sarutobi Hiruzen roared angrily. He originally hoped to regain control of Konoha this time. But the result was that the Sarutobi clan was wiped out. Mito Kadoyan and Koharu who transferred to the dormitory died in front of him. My son wanted to kill him in order to survive. They were all caused by that damn guy Hyuga Nariku. Oh, I won't make him too proud. Before coming here, I left them a small gift. Obito said with a sneer. Outside world. That was just now. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the half-disappeared body on the ground in confusion. This looked a lot like an Uchiha forbidden technique he had seen in the literature. Izanagi. Danzo once used Izanagi when he attacked Hyuga Nariku. However, Uchiha Fugaku did not see the scene at that time. Therefore, he was not entirely sure whether this was the effect of Izanagi's activation. Yes, it is indeed Izanagi. Hyuga Nariku said while looking at the ground. Not only half of Obito's body disappeared on the ground. The blood that had flowed out before also disappeared. If Sarutobi Hiruzen hadn't disappeared, it would be as if nothing happened here just now. Obito's divine power, combined with Izanagi's, is simply a rogue level. Konan's 600 billion detonating talisman blew up. Uchiha Itachi recalled his previous guess and said. That guy is probably a member of the Uchiha clan. As he said that, Uchiha Itachi told the analysis he had made when he was in Cloud Hidden Village. The masked man knows very well how to stimulate Uchiha to open his eyes, and he can also use the forbidden technique of Sharingan. According to my guess, that guy is probably the one who created the Nine Tails Rebellion back then. This. A group of Konoha ninjas looked at each other. An unstoppable idea began to appear in their minds. If the Nine Tails Rebellion was caused by the masked man, then Hiruzen Sarutobi who was hanging out with him. The Nine Tails Rebellion was a conspiracy of Sarutobi Hiruzen. As for the purpose, was it to make the fourth generation abdicate so that he could reassume the position of Hokage? Nara. Shikaku said thoughtfully. Is the Nine Tails Rebellion also a conspiracy? Kakashi murmured to himself. His father died in a trap planned by Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others. And during the Nine Tails Rebellion, his teacher Namikaze Minato and master mother Uzumaki Kushina both died. Is this actually the conspiracy of that old guy, Hiruzen Sarutobi? Hyuga Naruto suppressed his inner smile and had no intention of explaining to Hiruzen Sarutobi. The Nine Tails Rebellion was indeed the fault of Obito alone. But, since Sarutobi Hiruzen and Obito are mixed together, don't blame everyone for putting the blame on you. In the distance, the shadow of Uchiha Obito appeared from the swirling distortion. He didn't dare to lean too close. Close, and it only leaves a shadow outside, and the body is still in the divine space. Sure enough, it was okay, so it was indeed Izanagi who just now. Uchiha Fugaku said, looking at Uchiha Obito who was completely intact. Hinata Naruto, I really didn't expect you to come back alive from Kumogakure. Obito said in a relaxed tone. However, I have prepared a small gift for you. The words fell. On the other side of Konoha, an astonishing evil chakra aura rose into the sky. This aura was extremely familiar to everyone present. They had all felt this aura on that night a few years ago. Evil aura. Kyuubi. Kyuubi went berserk. At this moment, everyone recalled the fear of the night when the Kyuubi was broken. At the same time, they were convinced that the masked man was indeed the murderer of the Nine Tails Rebellion. And Hiruzen Sarutobi who was with him must be the mastermind behind the Nine Tails Rebellion. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 95. Without the fourth Hokage, how are you going to subdue the rampaging Kyuubi now? Uchiha Obito said with a chuckle. Even though he had learned about Hyuga Naruto's record against the combination. However, Kiribi's 8 tails cannot be compared with the 9 tails in Naruto. As the strongest tailed beast, 9 tails the tail is completely different from other tailed beasts. He relied on the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan to control the 9 tails. If he didn't rely on the Sharingan, it would be difficult for him to conquer the 9 tails head-on. Damn it, it was you, the bastard, who released the Kyuubi and killed the 4th generation. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Obito with anger on his face. After the 4th generation Hokage Namikaze Minato, the Hokage who was friendly to the Uchiha clan, died. The situation of their Uchiha clan became worse day by day. The clan was asked to move to the edge of the village. Even, they have to be monitored by Umbu 24 hours a day. The big pot of the Nine Tails Rebellion has nothing to do with the Uchiha of Konoha. It's this damn masked man who caused them to bear the Nine Tails Rebellion. Damn it! Hinata Naruto is not worried that Kyuubi will completely go berserk. On the one hand, Jiraiya should be by Naruto's side now. On the other hand, if Naruto continues to go berserk, Namikaze Minato will come out to clean up the mess. When Namikaze Minato sealed the 9 tails, he left a trace of his chakra in Naruto. If Naruto loses control and explodes the 8 tails, this chakra will break the seal and stop the out-of-control Naruto. Sarutobi Hiruzen, are you not planning to come out? Hyuga Naruto raised his sword and pointed it at Sarutobi Asuma. In this case, I will directly execute your youngest son. In the Kamui space, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face was distorted. Although Sarutobi Asuma even wanted to kill him before to survive. But now, he still hopes to save his last son. After losing Sarutobi Shinashuk one after another, after his eldest son, Danzo, and 3 other old friends, and even the entire Sarutobi clan were wiped out, he didn't want his last youngest son to be saved either. Can you go out and save Asuma? Sarutobi Hiruzen said to Obito in the Kamui space. Uchiha Obito just left a shadow outside, and his body is still in the Kamui space. When Obito heard this, his face turned dark. He is simply not there now. Don't you dare approach Hinata Nariku's side, okay? Even the main body doesn't dare to go out? Snort. Uchiha Obito snorted coldly and said. Do you want me to let you out and then you try to save your son? I can let you out now if you want. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression was stagnant. He didn't dare to go out. He was lucky enough to be rescued by Obito again. Then you want me to watch my son die? Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a dark face. Your son's life or death is none of my business. Uchiha Obito said coldly. Moreover, maybe that guy Hyuga Nariku will soon die like the 4th Hokage, suppressing the 9 tails. If you think about it this way, you can be more balanced. Outside. Sarutobi Asuma waited for a moment, but did not see his father appear at all. Father, save me, father. Sarutobi Asuma became anxious and shouted to Obito. He knew that his father should still be here now. It's just that he might be in some special place. Hearing Sarutobi Asuma's words, everyone else's faces were filled with tears. It's a little weird. Just now you were thinking about killing your father to survive. Why do you want your father to come out and save you now? It seems that your father has no intention of coming out to rescue you. The Kusanagi sword in Hyuga Nariku's hand gradually approached Sarutobi Asuma's heart. No, wait a little longer, my father will come out. Sarutobi Asuma retreated in panic. Tisk. Pierce the chest with a sword. Then what? Then you go and kill him to survive. Hyuga Nariku pulled out the bloody Kusanagi sword and watched Asuma Sarutobi slowly fall to the ground with his eyes wide open. After killing Sarutobi Asuma, Hyuga Nariku no longer delayed. Under the repulsion of the reincarnation eye, he soared directly into the sky and flew towards the violent Naruto. Soon, Hinata Nariku saw that 8 tails had exploded, and Naruto had transformed into a half-tailed beast. However, Naruto's original nature could no longer be seen at all. Looks like the whole body is covered by the dark red 9 tails chakra, with 8 tails waving wantonly behind him. Who are you? That young man named Hinata Nariku. Jiraiya looked at Hyuga Nariku, who suddenly fell from the sky, and asked speculatively. The opponent's eyes were similar to the Byakugan, but there were some differences. And this ability to fly over and fall from the sky is similar to the rumored ability to fly up and hold up a mountain to blast away Kumogakure. Worthy. Jiraiya senpai. Hyuga Nariku nodded and admitted his identity. There is no time to say more now. Is there any way you can suppress Naruto now? Jiraiya said eagerly. Before, Naruto exploded with 4 tails at once. Originally, he could still subdue Naruto with 4 tails. But he didn't dare to hit too hard at that time for fear of hurting Naruto. He originally wanted to bring Naruto back to his senses through persuasion. However, Naruto in that state completely lost consciousness and only knew how to vent wildly. As a result, Naruto exploded with 2 more tails in the blink of an eye. This time, facing 6 Naruto with tails, he couldn't suppress it at all. Now he has even reached 8 tails. If this continues, the whole village will be destroyed. Not far away, in a burst of space distortion, the shadow of Uchiha Obito emerged again. Come on, Hinata Nariku, let me see how you control the Kyuubi. Obito's exposed right eye showed a look of expectation. He also lost against the fourth Hokage back then. But so what? Didn't the fourth Hokage die to seal the Nine Tails? In the Kamui space, Sarutobi Hiruzen also had a look of resentment on his face, wanting to witness Hyuga Nariku's death. His only remaining youngest son has now died in Hyuga Nariku's hands. It's hard not to see Hyuga Nariku die with his own eyes. The hatred in his heart. Is it difficult to control the Kyuubi? Hyuga Nariku asked back indifferently. At the same time, he gently raised his hand and pointed it at the rampant Naruto, who was doing crazy destruction. Shishi shishi. A huge yin-yang escape black stick flew out from Hyuga Nariku's hand. Naruto, the half-tailed beast who rushed over here, was directly restrained by 8 giant black rods. Even the huge chakra flow of the 9 tails was blocked by the black rods. I saw the last tail slowly moving. The condensed form formed. Hinata Nariku raised his hand again, and a giant yin-yang escape black rod nailed the tail that was not fully formed to the ground. The Sangskargan does not have any convenient ability to control the 9 tails. At most, it can hang the 9 tails. He was beaten, but he couldn't control the 9 tails for his own use. But Hyuga Nariku, who has enhanced both yin and yang to the extreme, can easily create a black stick of yin and yang that can restrict the flow of chakra. This Obito, Hiruzen, Sarutobi, and the Konoha ninjas who came in a hurry looked at the situation here with astonishment on their faces. They thought there would be a big battle. However, Naruto was so violent that he took on the shape of a naked fox. All 9 tails were nailed to the ground. He could only struggle and roar, but there was nothing he could do. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 96. That's Nagato's black stick. Obito in the Kamui space stared at the violent Naruto, who was bound in place with a solemn expression. He was extremely familiar with the black rod that Hyuga Nariku had just launched. Nagato used this yin-yang escape black rod to create pain. The 6 paths make up for the lack of mobility in one's own body. What it is? Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression was very ugly. He was also looking forward to seeing Hinata Nariku die trying to subdue the 9 tails, just like Namikaze Minato did. As a result, Hinata Nariku fired many giant black sticks. He easily suppressed the 9 tails Jinchuriki, who was so violent that he had 8 tails. The black rod created through yin-yang dun can be used to transmit chakra. If used to attack, it can limit the flow of chakra to the opponent. Uchiha Obito explained a few words in a somewhat erratic tone. Nagato can create this kind of yin-yang escape black rod through the reincarnation eye. Moreover, Nagato's black rod can indeed limit the opponent's chakra flow. But Obito, I am not sure whether Nagato can easily create such a huge yin-yang escape black rod like Hyuga Nariku, which can even easily overwhelm the Kyuubi. How on earth did this guy do it? Obito couldn't help but mutter to himself. It is not necessary to have the Samsara Eye to create the yin-yang escape black rod. As long as you have both yin and yang attributes of chakra and your attainment of yin and yang escape reaches a certain level, you can make your own black rod. He himself meets this condition. He possesses the Sharingan and already possesses yin-type chakra. At the same time, when he was rescued by Uchiha Madara, he was also transplanted with Hashirama cells and possessed yang chakra. But Obito also tried it. He couldn't create the yin-yang black rod like Nagato. That guy has Byakugan and possesses yin-type chakra. But where does his yang chakra come from? Obito felt that he couldn't understand it. Moreover, even if Hyuga Nariku had yang attribute chakra, how could his yin and yang escape attainments be so high? You damn bastard, die. Just when Obito was meditating, Uchiha Fugaku, who had arrived here, rushed over. However, Uchiha Fugaku went straight through as if he hadn't touched anything. Obito looked at more and more people coming towards him. The Konoha ninja who came here has a gloomy expression. His action today has completely failed. Hyuga Naraku, who was thought to be dead, is not only still alive, but also returned directly to Konoha through time and space ninjutsu. He wanted to indirectly use Sarutobi Hiruzen taking control of Konoha. The result was that 4 ninja clans including Sarutobi and Shimura were completely wiped out. I wanted to capture the 9-tailed Jinchuriki and get the most important tailed beast of the Eye of the Moon plan. As a result, Jiraiya was killed. When he was defeated, this goal had already failed. Next, he wanted to release the 9 tails and weaken Konoha. In the end, the 9 tails was easily suppressed by Hyuga Naraku. Uchiha Obito looked coldly into the distance. Hyuga Naraku took back the shadow he cast outside. He became more convinced of his previous idea. Hyuga Naraku will be the biggest obstacle to the Eye of the Moon plan. He must be eliminated. Outside, Hyuga Naraku confirmed that the space fluctuations did not appear again and shook his head. Walked over to Naruto. The half-tailed beast Naruto, with all 9 tails nailed to the ground, took on the appearance of a beast and roared miserably. However, he couldn't mobilize chakra, so he couldn't break free from the yin-yang black rod with his strength. Hinatan Naraku stretched out his hand towards Naruto, and the light blue Tsengagen chakra wrapped around his hand. Absorb. With Hinatan Naraku's plain voice, the 9-tailed chakra that broke out of Naruto's body seemed to have found the running water at the outlet, flowing turbulently towards Hinatan Naraku. Soon, the dark red chakra coat faded away. Naruto's young body retreated from the half-tailed beast state. This. Hinatan Naraku looked at Naruto's current appearance and couldn't help but frown. Because he lost control of his emotions and entered the state of half-tailed beast, Naruto's skin is now covered in burns and bruises. This guy Obito is really indifferent. Hinatan Naraku sighed secretly in his heart. Naruto's parents had been killed back then. Now the 4-year-old Naruto was tortured like this. When the Yondaime is exposed one day and realizes that Obito did all these things, I wonder if he will be beaten to death. Hyuga Naraku reaches out his hand, and a stream of high-purity yang escape chakra is directed towards Naruto's body. Injection. With his current level of yang done, he is even stronger than the first Hokage at his peak. If you want to compare, the goal should be to obtain the power of the 6 Path Sage and activate the Naruto level of the 6 Paths mode. 6 level yang escape. Under the vitality of chakra, Naruto, whose skin was dark red and ulcerated, quickly returned to his original state. Even some hidden wounds caused by lack of care at a young age were all eliminated at once. Kyuubi, just like that, was subdued. The Konoha ninjas who rushed over looked at the scene in front of them and murmured in disbelief. They thought there would be a big battle. But it turned out that Hyuga Naraku easily subdued the rampaging 9 tails Jinchuriki. Back then, the 4th Hokage sacrificed his life in order to seal the Kyuubi. Could it be that Naraku-sama's power has surpassed that of the 4th generation? More than that. Someone sighed with emotion. Thinking back to the way half-tailed beast Naruto was nailed to the ground by a giant black rod and could only struggle. To subdue the tailed beast so easily is simply the power of the first Hokage back then. Some ninjas who know more about it know that most of the tailed beasts in the major ninja villages were captured and distributed by the first Hokage. To the first Hokage, the tailed beasts were just toys with greater power. Even the first Hokage Naruto's original idea was to give it to other ninja villages for free. Does Naraku-sama already have the same power as the first generation? A group of Konoha ninjas were a little confused and a little excited. At the same time, in Naruto's consciousness space, having just said a few words to his son, Namikaze Minato, who wanted to completely seal the 9 tails chakra first, was suddenly startled. He discovered that Kyuubi's chakra suddenly stopped flowing. After observing the outside, Namikaze Minato smiled and said, "It seems that there is now another ninja in the village who can subdue the Kyuubi. If this is the case, then I can rest assured in the future." "Why, Dad, why do you seal the 9 tails in my body?" the young Naruto cried hoarsely. Minato was silent for a while, squatting down so that he and Naruto could look directly at each other. He did not expect that Naruto would have to use the backhand he had prepared at such a young age. "Sorry, Naruto," Minato said seriously. "I didn't expect that the third generation would do such a thing." Speaking of these words, Namikaze Minato's eyes were filled with undisguised coldness. Before his death, Sarutobi Hiruzen was just greedy for power and only hindered him in various matters. However, I never expected that in just a few years after his death, Sarutobi Hiruzen would be so heartbroken and crazy. However, I can only talk to you for a while. Minato looked a little regretful and nostalgic. He just left a little chakra. He was very satisfied to be able to see his son. You can trust Mr. Jiraiya in the future. He is someone I absolutely trust. Jiraiya, is that the white-haired immortal uncle? Naruto recalled the previous scene of Jiraiya firmly protecting him behind him, and nodded. He could feel that the white-haired uncle was really good to him. Also, you should be able to believe that young man named Hinata Nariku. Minato recalled the scene of Hyuga Nariku's previous attack. He only used the black rod to restrain the rampaging Naruto's tail, but did not pin Naruto's body. The half-tailed beast Naruto's tail was transformed by chakra, and Naruto will not be hurt by pinning. But if the torso is nailed directly to the ground, Naruto will inevitably be hurt. In Namikaze Minato's view, on the premise that Naruto needs to be subdued, he can still pay attention. Judging from these details, Hyuga Nariku's attitude towards Naruto should not be bad. At this moment, a chakra with strong life energy poured in. Is this high-purity Yang escape chakra? Minato's pupils shrank. Soon, he noticed Hinata Nariku's movements outside. It seems that you don't need to worry too much about your future, Naruto. Minato squatted down and gently put his hand on Naruto's head and stroked it. I really hope to see you grow up safely. Goodbye, Naruto. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 97. In the real world, Naruto's injuries quickly improved under Hyuga Nariku's Yang release chakra. Soon, it returned to its original appearance. The Konoha ninja next to him also breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that the nine-tailed Jinchuriki had been surrendered. Nariku-sama, you should keep a tighter watch on the nine-tails Jinchuriki from now on. A ninja couldn't help but say. After 2 consecutive times, he really didn't want to experience the fear of nine-tails going berserk again. However, Hinata Nariku frowned and said. After impeaching Hiruzen Sarutobi, he didn't say many things because he was eager to go to war. Are you people blind? First of all, this child is Uzumaki Naruto first, and then the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Also, look at his appearance, can't you tell whose child he is? A group of Konoha ninjas next to them looked at each other. They had never paid attention to this problem before. In fact, many ninjas did not know the concept of Jinchuriki. Let alone civilians. This child. Someone looked at Naruto's dazzling blonde hair, and suddenly couldn't help but turn their eyes to the Hokage rock. There, the 4th rock statue. The 4th Hokage. Namikaze Minato, known as the Golden Flash. Isn't it just blonde hair? Even the color of their eyes is the same blue. No, no way, how could such a thing happen? Some people couldn't help but swallowed their saliva and couldn't believe it. If Naruto were the 4th Hokage's child. So, what have they done over the years? Is he the son of the 4th Hokage? Someone looked at Naruto, who was still unconscious, and muttered to himself. Namikaze Minato has only been the Hokage for more than a year. Moreover, even when he died, he was only 24 years old. At that time, the news that the 4th Lady Uzumaki Kushina was pregnant was also blocked. The pregnancy and birth of a female Jinchuriki is a big event for the village. Not to mention the Jinchuriki of the most powerful tailed beast, the Kuwabai. Therefore, Many people have no idea that the fourth Hokage once left a child. Not to mention that the fourth Hokage sealed the nine tails into his own child. But this is no reason for them to forgive themselves. Even if you don't know. Can all the previous injuries be counted? Hey, isn't it a good idea to say this? Jiraiya frowned and tried to dissuade Hinata Naraku. The enemies that Namikaze Minato killed in 3 battles were frightened by the news. Many villages even told their ninjas that if they encounter a golden flash, they can give up the mission directly. If it was revealed that Naruto was Minato's son, many people would probably come to seek revenge from Naruto. Anyway, the whole village knew that Naruto was the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Hyuga Naruko said indifferently. Although many people may not know what a Jinchuriki is. But basically all the villagers have heard this message. Naruto is a demon fox. In this case, as long as the spies in other villages are not fools, they will Naruto's identity as the nine-tailed Jinchuriki can be easily confirmed. Then, it would not be painful to reveal that Naruto is the son of the 4th generation. However, Naruto's safety is indeed a problem. Hyuga Naruko nodded and said. If you take care of Naruto from now on, I'll have to worry about you, Jiraiya-senpai. I'll take care of the children. Jiraiya looked bitter. Even though he had a premonition after meeting Naruto. But it was still a bit of a headache for him, a bachelor in his 40s, to take care of a 4-year-old child. However, he is indeed the best choice. Rather, if it weren't for not wanting to return to the village and looking for the child of prophecy, he would have planned to come back and take care of Minato's children. Yes, it's true. When others heard Hinata Naruko's words, they felt no luck. They have always called him the Devil Fox Kid. I have been bullied and ostracized by them. He is actually the 4th generation Hokage's child. What have we done? Some people couldn't help crying and fell to their knees. There are too many ninjas in Konoha who have fought side by side with Namikaze Minato on the battlefield. In fact, Namikaze Minato has saved the lives of many ninjas. And in Namikaze Minato after giving his own life to seal the Kyuubi. His only son was treated like this in Konoha. Hateful. Why didn't that old Sarutobi reveal the identity of the 4th son? Someone couldn't help but cursed angrily. Sarutobi Hiruzen was right to hide Naruto's identity, and also spread messages in the village saying that Naruto was a demon fox. But this is no reason why you can forgive yourself. Hyuga Naruko said with a stern expression. Haven't you ever suspected that Naruto and the 4th Hokage look alike? In fact, Naruto's age was almost the same year that the 4th Hokage died. For a moment, many ninjas couldn't help but lower their heads in shame. The son of the 4th Hokage, whom they respected most, had such an experience in childhood. Even if Sarutobi Hiruzen had to take the biggest blame. But the remaining mistakes, must be borne by them. We, the 4th Hokage, are sorry, and we are also sorry, Naruto. Many people called out Naruto's name for the first time. Before, they often called him the Nine-Tailed Imp, or the Demon Fox Imp. Many ninjas from the ninja clan have slightly better faces. Many of them are right, these things are clearer. We know that Naruto may be the son of the 4th generation. For example, Nara Shikamaru, Nara Shikaku's son, once asked in confusion why many people in the village rejected Naruto. But, even if they did not stand in harm's way, however, they were all just silent people. They failed to improve Naruto's childhood situation. At this time, Naruto, who had just said goodbye to his father in the consciousness space, woke up leisurely. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw many people facing him, their faces red with shame. Many people even knelt down directly. Sorry, Naruto. We were wrong. A group of people said in voices choked with shame. However, Naruto didn't feel happy. He is just confused now. When he saw Hinata Naruko, he reached out and grabbed his sleeve. He still remembered that his father said that the white-haired immortal uncle and this elder brother could be trusted. Hinata Naruto shook his head helplessly. Jiraiya-senpai, please enlighten Naruto. He couldn't think of how Naruto could accept this. The apologies from these people could not eliminate Naruto's inner confusion. Rather, it is very rare that Naruto is not full of resentment now. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 98. The next day. The Uchiha Guard was in charge of publicity, and yesterday's events quickly spread throughout Konoha. Moreover, Hyuga Naruto also had a notice posted below the Hokage's building, officially announcing Sarutobi Hiruzen's crimes. He harmed the public and enriched himself by using the convenience of the Hokage to strengthen his Sarutobi clan. He created a conspiracy and spread messages to kill Konoha White Fang. He united with outsiders to launch the Nine Tails Rebellion, killing the fourth Hokage, and blamed the Nine Tails Rebellion on the Uchiha clan. He protected Danzo and did not deal with Danzo's wanton behavior. He was weak to others and only wanted to kill his own people. He abused the fourth-generation orphan, Uzumaki. Naruto, he colluded with Kumogakure and took the opportunity to launch a rebellion with Sarutobi, Shimura and other tribesmen. He betrayed the village, using the Nine Tails Jinchuriki as a bargaining chip to trade with others. Almost every one of the charges can make a person's blood pressure soar. The one that shocked everyone the most. The fourth Hokage, was killed by Sarutobi Hiruzen in collusion with a mysterious person. The villagers stared at the contents of the announcement in disbelief. Yesterday, everyone who saw Uchiha Obito was sure that the mysterious masked man was the murderer of the Nine Tails Rebellion. And he was the rescued Sarutobi Hiruzen was undoubtedly his accomplice. Although Hyuga Naruto knew that the Nine Tails Rebellion had nothing to do with Sarutobi Hiruzen. But why did he expend effort to explain to Sarutobi Hiruzen? Everyone thinks you are the mastermind, so you are the mastermind. If you want to blame, I can only blame you for hanging out with Obito, the real mastermind. So, the Nine Tails Rebellion back then was also caused by that old bastard Hiruzen Sarutobi. Some people's eyes are red. Many people lost their loved ones on the night when the Nine Tails broke the seal. In the past, they thought that the sudden appearance of the Nine Tails in the village was just an accident. But now, let them know that the Nine Tails Rebellion is actually a monkey. Hiruzen did it. An irrepressible anger suddenly broke out. The anger and resentment in everyone's hearts almost boiled. This bastard, in order to become Hokage again, actually let the Kyuubi be released in the village, killing so many people. The fourth Hokage all died because of sealing the Kyuubi. Not only that, the son of the fourth Hokage, his identity was actually concealed by that old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen, and rumors have been spreading in the village that Uzumaki Naruto is a demon fox. Recalling the disgust and rejection of Naruto, everyone was filled with emotions of anger and shame. Anger at what Sarutobi Hiruzen did. Shame for what they had done. That old guy killed the fourth generation of adults. It wasn't enough that he abused the fourth generation of orphans before. Yesterday, he even sold the fourth generation's children to others. The announcement read that Hiruzen Sarutobi colluded with Kumogakure, betrayed the fourth generation orphan, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki Uzumaki Naruto, and launched a rebellion together with the four tribes of Sarutobi, Shimura, Mitaman, and Tenjin. After announcing the fourth generation of Naruto after the identity of the son of Naruto, there is no need to hide the identity of the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Moreover, Naruto has the protection of Jiraiya, so he can basically rest assured about his safety. Has that bastard finally reached his bottom line? The villagers who saw these contents couldn't understand at all. How could a person be so crazy and crazy? The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato, the greatest hero of the three wars, was the victim of quelling the Nine Tails Rebellion. However, his child was actually killed. Sarutobi Hiruzen used it as a bargaining chip to trade with others. The fourth Hokage has a spirit under the spring, so he might be angry enough to come back to life. I heard that Lord Naraku and his troops returned directly to the village through some magical means and put out the rebellion. Good job! Someone shouted happily. He even felt that dying would be too cheap for those people. That is, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not a good person, and those elders and their clansmen all deserve to die. He actually colluded with outsiders to launch a rebellion. He deserves to die. I heard that Sarutobi Hiruzen and his group wanted to destroy Narakusama's Hyuga clan, but Narakusama came right back. Someone said the news they heard. Ha! The people next to him laughed outright. They could almost imagine the scene at that time. He wanted to exterminate the clan in a fierce manner, but unexpectedly, Hyuga Naraku, who had gone on an expedition, suddenly came back with his team. Suddenly, the target of the genocide was reversed. This kind of the dramatic scene makes people feel happy just imagining it. But it's a pity that Sarutobi Hiruzen was rescued by the accomplice who released the Nine Tails Rebellion. Someone said bitterly. Where has Sarutobi Hiruzen gone now? Kumogakure village. Didn't he run to Kumogakure before? Why did he collude with Kumogakure again? Many people are puzzled. I heard that after Narakusama blasted Kumogakure away with a mountain, Sarutobi Hiruzen was rescued by his mysterious accomplice. Could it be that the mysterious man who released the Kuwabai was from Hidden Kiri village? It must have something to do with Kumogakure. Someone asserted. After Sarutobi Hiruzen was rescued, he soon led the Kumogakure ninja to attack the village. That mysterious man and Hiruzen Sarutobi are probably in Kumogakure village. First it was Kumogakure, and now it is Kumogakure. These villages are one after another. Do you really think we are easy to bully? I heard a member of the Hyuga clan say that the reason Sarutobi Hiruzen dared to bring the Kumogakure ninjas to attack was because he thought Lord Naraku would die from an attack by some secret weapon of Kumogakure. What happened next? Didn't Lord Naraku suddenly appear in the village? The people next to me quickly asked. I've also heard about this. A friend of mine followed Narakusama on his expedition to Kumogakure and saw the final battle scene. One person proudly shared the news he got from his friends. I heard him say that Kumogakure's secret weapon was really powerful. It could hit Kumogakure from inside to outside, and the outer wall was even destroyed. Then what? Everyone couldn't help asking. Even if they knew that Hyuga Naraku had returned safely with everyone who went on the expedition, they couldn't help but feel worried now. Later, of course, Narakusama easily blocked it with a magical ninjutsu. Even Kumogakure's secret weapon was captured by Narakusama. However, the most important thing is the back. The speaker swallowed his saliva, with a look of admiration in his eyes. I heard from my friends who went on the expedition that Narakusama directly attacked with all his strength in Union Village and bulldozed the entire mountain peaks in Union Village. He even used a golden sword of unknown length to cut a canyon dozens of kilometers long on the ground. Dozens of kilometers. Others ask subconsciously. What is this concept? Is this a power that a ninja can possess? It's just like the legendary First Hokage. Speaking of the first generation, I heard that Narakusama not only captured Kumogakure's 8 tails, but also easily subdued the rampaging 9 tails Jinchuriki yesterday. A man wearing a ninja forehead protector said. He had just learned what a Jinchuriki meant yesterday. However, he was no stranger to tailed beasts. Catching the tailed beasts and handing them out like toys was the first generation of that year. Things that Naruto did. Has Lord Naraku's power reached the level of the legendary first generation? Someone's expression is a little erratic. The first Hokage. To the current Konoha villagers, he is almost a legendary figure. However, there are still some old people in the village who have seen the power of the first Hokage. Those people are all right. The first Hokage was respected as a god. The bastard Sarutobi Hiruzen who killed the Yondaime-sama actually allowed him to be the Hokage for so many more years. In my opinion, Naruto-sama's power is what makes him worthy of being the Hokage. If Naruto-sama leads the team, he will definitely be able to capture that old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen from Kumogakure village. A group of people said in a hurry. At the same time, somewhere in Kumogakure village, Konoha now regards you as one of the masterminds behind the Nine Tails Rebellion. Uchiha Obito said with a chuckle. This is the rare news that he can feel a little happy these days. This news was brought back by Baizetsu. Now he dare not easily run to Konoha to check the news. Hinata Naruto, that guy, can detect the fluctuations of his divine power, so he has to guard against it. It's your fault. Sarutobi Hiruzen scolded Uchiha Obito with a dark face. He knew that the guy in front of him was the one who released the Nine Tails. Although he had done many things before. But the Nine Tails Rebellion was really, it has nothing to do with him. However, he has been mixed up with Obito, and now he has no way to explain it. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 99. The Land of the Hyuga Clan. The separated ninjas formed a long line. The team moved forward slowly. However, no one looked impatient. Today, Hyuga Naruto announced something to them. He can help them remove the caged bird curse seal. Ever since they saw the caged bird curse seal become ineffective on Hyuga Naruto, all the ninjas of the branch have been looking forward to this day. Compared with the previous 10 or even decades of being constrained by a caged bird, the short wait at this moment is nothing at all. Is it really time to get rid of the caged bird soon? Some people couldn't help but say. What they have longed for many years is suddenly coming true, but at this time it feels a little unreal. I believe in Naruto. A ninja who separated from the family next to him said. Naruto is simply the god of our Hyuga clan. Since he said it, he can definitely do it. Come out, someone comes out. There was a sudden noise in the long queue. At the end of the queue, at Hinata Naruto's residence, a ninja from the branch who went in first came out. Although his face was a little pale, there was still some sweat on his forehead, as if he had endured what a huge mental pain. But the ugly dark green caged bird curse mark on his forehead has completely disappeared. It really worked. I said Naruto can definitely do it. We will really be able to please the caged bird right away. A group of separated ninjas almost cried with joy. All the unreality disappeared at once. From now on, they can finally take off their ninja forehead protectors outside without any burden and expose their foreheads. Hinata Naruto's home. There will be a period of mental pain when cracking, and you need to endure it. Hyuga Naruto said to Hinata Kamen in front of him. I'm mentally prepared. Hinata Kamen said firmly. He saw the pain of the previous man when he was breaking out of the caged bird. Being able to get rid of the caged bird before I turn 18 is the best adult gift for me. He and Hyuga Naruto were students of the ninja school at the same time. It is now Konoha 52, and he is just 18 years old. Originally, Hyuga Firegate's expectation was that he would be lucky enough to get rid of the caged bird in this life. Unexpectedly, he can now be in 10 years old. Get rid of the caged bird before the age of 8. Hinata Naruto nodded slightly and said. I'm going to start. The reincarnation eye chakra was injected into Hinata Kamen's mind, forming a miniature seeking jade. In the nerves of the brain, you can see the chakra of the caged bird curse seal, and it is closely connected with the nerves. Being planted with the caged bird curse seal is like this over the years, the seal chakra and nerves have become almost inseparable. Therefore, you still need to endure a little pain to get rid of the caged bird. Well. Almost instantly, Hinata Kamen felt an extreme amount of mental pain. He clenched his fists, and cold sweat fell from his forehead drop by drop. He could only clench his teeth and try his best not to cry out in pain. All right. I don't know how long has passed. In the severe pain, Hinata came and lost his perception of time until he heard Hinata Nariku's voice coming from his ears. The knot is over. Hinata came and said in a daze. There is a mirror next to it, you can take a look. Hyaga Nariku pointed to the side and said. This is what he specially prepared today. After the separated clansmen eliminated the caged bird, they will definitely want to take a look at their foreheads as soon as possible. Watching Hinata women stumble away. Looking in the mirror, Hinata Nariku said in a calm voice. Next. The long queue shortened very quickly. It is not difficult for Hyaga Nariku to eliminate the caged bird. However, the mental pain during the elimination process will make people feel wrong about time, and it will feel like a long time passed. The last one, Hyaga Hisashi, who had been waiting quietly on the side, came over. Hyaga Nariku, who was already extremely skilled, quickly eliminated the caged bird curse seal. Why, even though it hurts, do they look so happy? Hyaga Niji, who was sitting next to him with his father, asked. Obviously during the process of removing the caged bird, many people even cried out in pain. However, after the removal, the pain has not completely dissipated, and everyone has changed. So happy. Because this is the feeling of a caged bird returning to the forest. Hinata Hisashi, who was still dripping with cold sweat on his forehead, gasped and said. For the weaker separate ninjas, the caged bird might even be a form of protection. On the battlefield, as long as you reveal your caged bird seal and show your identity as a Hyaga branch, you can dispel the enemy's covetousness for the Byakugan. Almost the entire ninja world knows that. Don't expect to get a white eye from the Hyaga branch. So far, the Hyaga clan has only lost one Byakugan of a clan member in Kumogakure village. But all the Hyaga branch ninjas, without exception, chose to eliminate the caged bird. They have hated the caged bird for too long. Once upon a time, Hyaga Hisashi was almost resigned to his identity as a branch and the caged bird seal. It wasn't until I watched Hinata grow up that I realized that Niji would soon be carved into a caged bird. That time, he couldn't help but show murderous intent towards Hinata. Sorry, brother, I was. Facing Hinata Hisashi who came over, Hinata Hisashi couldn't help but apologize. There is no need to talk about the past. Hinata Hisashi waved his hand and said. I can understand your feelings towards Niji, just like how I felt when you showed your murderous intention towards Hinata. Also, Hisashi, after all these years, you finally called me brother again. Hinata Hayashi said with some emotion. In the past, Hyaga Hisashi always called him the clan leader, whether in public or in private. After so many years, his brother finally called him brother again. Everyone happens to be here, so I will take this opportunity to announce something. Hyaga Hisashi said to the separated ninjas who had not dispersed yet. From today on, the Hyaga clan will abolish the system of clan separation. There was silence for a moment. A burst of cheers suddenly broke out from the crowd. After the abolition of the caged bird, their identity as a branch family also ended. Although Hinata and Hisashi have always been friendly to the branch family, there is no guarantee that the clan will be like this in the future. And the clan and family division systems were abolished, and they finally ushered in complete freedom. Well, can we also request that the caged bird be eliminated? Two figures came out of the crowd. They were the second and third elders of the clan. Because they colluded with outsiders and attempted to overthrow the head of their clan, they were engraved with the caged bird curse seal and were deprived of their clan status. The crowd suddenly fell silent. Everyone did not speak and looked at Hinata Nariku. Although everyone did not like these two people, they would not have any objection if Hinata Nariku was willing to eliminate the caged bird for them. You. Hyaga Nariku said with a hint of teasing in the corner of his mouth. For others, because of the family separation system, when they reach a certain age, they will be engraved with the title of caged bird. and you were carved as a caged bird because of punishment. Why do you want me to help you eliminate it? Is your punishment already over? That's it, a group of Hyuga ninjas nodded and said. It's great that these two old guys are still alive. They actually wanted to ask Naruto to eliminate the caged bird for them. Why weren't they so kind in the past and wanted to abolish the caged bird system of family separation? Of all the people present, no one wanted to intercede for these two people. The two former elders looked ashen and their hearts were filled with gloom. Once, they were a few noble clans, and these people had to obey their orders unconditionally. The families are separated. Now, these people are no longer bound by their status as separated families, and they are no longer caged birds. The only ones who are bound by the caged birds are the two of them. The identities of the two parties are completely reversed. In the evening, Jiraiya and Narashikaku came to visit together. We want you to be the fifth Hokage, Jiraiya said with a very formal expression. Among the ninjas in Konoha now, the only ones with the prestige to serve as Hokage are Hyuga Naruto, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. He has to be responsible for taking care of Naruto and has no time. And, he has no interest in being the Hokage. As for Tsunade, needless to say, everyone is still outside and has not come back, now only Hinata Naruto is the most suitable. Even in terms of prestige in the village now, Hinata Naruto was even above him and Tsunade. Many things in the village still need the Hokage to do, and they cannot remain idle forever. Narashikaku also said seriously. After Sarutobi Hiruzen defected, Hyuga Naruto led his people directly to go on an expedition. The affairs of the village were temporarily handed over to Akimichi Tofu. But Akimichi Tofu was not suitable after all. On the one hand it's because they are older. On the other hand, because the Akimichi clan often takes secret medicine in battles, Akimichi Taifeng's strength has declined more seriously than that of Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others. Whether it is considered in terms of strength or popularity, Hinata Naruto is the best candidate. Hinata Naruto nodded, he had been mentally prepared for this. However, he will have many things of his own in the future and cannot focus all his energy on the village. But, isn't it because Narashikaku is here? The people of the Nara family are the most reliable to use. Their IQs are high enough and easy to use. They are also lazy, so you don't have to worry about them being greedy for power. They are simply perfect tool people. I can serve as Hokage, but I may need to trouble you Shikaku more in the future. Hinata Naruto nodded and said. A question mark slowly appeared on Narashikaku's head. Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 100. A few days later. Boom. Boom. The sound of gun salutes is endless. The whole of Konoha is crowded with people. I heard that Naruto-sama is going to succeed the fifth Hokage. It seems that we still need to pass the vote of confidence from the Jonin. Naruto-sama will definitely be able to pass easily. I heard that Jiraiya-sama is responsible for presiding over the Jonin voting. Even Jiraiya-sama has withdrawn from the competition for Hokage, so there is no suspense about the result. As a hero who experienced meritorious service in World War II and World War III, Jiraiya has high popularity in the village. Among the three ninjas, except Orochimaru who defected, the remaining Jiraiya and Tsunade are in the village. The prestige has always been very high. Although the reputation of their teacher Hiruzen Sarutobi in the village has been completely ignored, people have not implicated Jiraiya and Tsunade. Both of them have served in external battlefields. Commander. As a medical ninja, Tsunade has saved many lives on the battlefield. As a civilian ninja, Jiraiya is not only powerful but also approachable. Even. Jiraiya is also the teacher of the fourth Hokage. In fact, early on after the Third Ninja War, Jiraiya and Tsunade were eligible to run for Hokage. However, neither of them had this ambition. Soon, a large number of Konoha villagers gathered near the Hokage Tower. Don't crowd, leave some space. There were so many people, even more than when the fourth Hokage succeeded to the throne. The ninjas of the Uchiha guards were struggling to maintain order. However, their mood was much better than that of the fourth Hokage. The two candidates for Hokage at that time, Namikaze Minato, were supported by Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Orochimaru was supported by Shimura Danzo. After missing out on the position of the third generation Hokage, their Uchiha clan still had no chance to compete with the fourth generation. They even failed to recommend anyone to run for election. Although the current fifth generation Hokage is still not their Uchiha, but the situation is completely different. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Mito Kadoen, and Kaden Koharu, who had always hated them before. Now three of them are dead, and the remaining Sarutobi Hiruzen is still defecting. Moreover, Hyuga Nariku was convinced by both his identity as a ninjutsu ninja and his powerful strength. The Uchiha clan worshipped the strong. When Konoha was just established and the first Hokage was elected, Uchiha Madara also failed. The one elected was Senju Hashirama. However, the Uchiha clan had no objections to Senju Hashirama being the Hokage. Even their extremely powerful clan leader Uchiha Madara recognized Senju Hashirama's power. And Hyuga Nariku's many Uchiha ninjas have seen their strength with their own eyes, easily defeating Kumogakure's combination, cutting off two mountains and blasting open Kumogakure village. There is also the powerful force that leveled Kumogakure village, and the invisible the golden sword to the edge. What's more, Hyuga Nariku has always shown a friendly attitude towards their Uchiha. Before, Hyuga Nariku made an agreement with them that their Uchiha would go out early, and he would be responsible for overthrowing Sarutobi Hiruzen. As a result, Hinatan Nariku not only did it, but also successfully helped the Uchiha to gain a lot of reputation in the village. Now, the villagers' attitude towards the Uchiha guards is much friendly. Soon, the Jonins of the major ninja clans, and the Jounin who were born as civilians all arrived one by one. Now that everyone is here, let's start voting. Jiraiya, who is in charge of presiding over the Jonin voting, said. This time, the candidate for the fifth Hokage is Hyuga Nariku. However, the Jonin vote still has to be carried out. In the past, Orochimaru was on this list in the election of the fourth Hokage. Lost to Namikaze Minato. Both of them were very strong and highly popular in the village. Orochimaru even had more seniority than Namikaze Minato. But Orochimaru still failed. In comparison, generally speaking, Orochimaru, who has a gloomy temperament, has completely different perceptions from Namikaze Minato, who is known as the Little Sun. Whether among Jounin or ordinary villagers, Namikaze Minato is more popular. Higher. Even if there is only Hyuga Nariku as a candidate for the fifth Hokage election this time, if he cannot pass the Jonin vote with more than half, he still cannot be elected. However, we, the Uchiha clan, all Jonin, agree that Hyuga Nariku should be elected as the fifth Hokage. Uchiha Fugaku stood up directly and threw a large pile of votes into the ballot box. Hiss, are all those dozens of people Jounin of the Uchiha clan. As expected of the Uchiha clan. As arrogant as the Uchiha clan is, they all agreed that Nariku-sama should be elected as the fifth Hokage. A group of villagers whispered. Jiraiya was also surprised when he looked at the dozens of votes that were cast at once. He is indeed an Uchiha who can make the entire village fear him with the power of his clan. Do you all agree? Jiraiya nodded slowly, feeling relieved. Originally, what Jiraiya was most worried about was that Uchiha might have objections to the selection of the fifth Hokage. However, now it seems that Uchiha is probably the one who supports the most. Sure enough, letting the young man Hinatan Nariku serve as the fifth generation Hokage is the most suitable choice. Jiraiya thought with some relief. Once upon a time, it was possible for Namikaze Minato to reintegrate Uchiha into the village. Unfortunately, after only being Hokage for more than a year, Namikaze Minato died in the Nine Tails Rebellion. and in after Hiruzen Sarutobi succeeded to the throne again, the relationship between the village and the Uchiha became worse and worse. What Jiraiya was most worried about was whether Hyuga Naruto could handle the Uchiha problem after he became the Hokage. However, it seems that now, this problem has been solved long before Hyuga Naruto became Hokage. All the Jounin of the Hyuga clan agreed that Hyuga Naruto should serve as the 5th Hokage. Hyuga and Hinata also came up to vote. This is no surprise to anyone. The Aburame clan unanimously supports Hyuga Naruto as the 5th Hokage. The next one is the Aburame clan. Still everyone agrees. Nara clan. Mountain clan. Akimichi clan. Inyazuka clan. Soon, under Jiraiya's slightly surprised gaze, all the major clan heads unanimously approved the decision. Kakashi Hatake supports Hyuga Naruto to become the 5th Hokage. Kakashi, wearing a mask, came up to vote expressionlessly. A few years ago, he also voted for his teacher in this way. Now it is the turn of his peers to be elected as Hokage. In a daze, Kakashi recalled the teammate who always wanted to be Hokage, Uchiha Obito. And I? Metkai, I support Naruto being elected as the 5th Hokage. Much more energetic than Kakashi, Metkai jumped over to vote with great agility. All, unanimously approved. Jiraiya looked at the last Jounin who completed the vote in surprise. All the Jounin of Konoha, whether they were ninjas from the ninja clan or civilian ninjas, voted in favor without exception. Even if he quit the Hokage, I didn't expect Hyuga Naruto to pass the election unanimously. It seems that your prestige in the village is higher than I thought. Jiraiya sighed to Hyuga Naruto who came over. Hinata Naruto was also slightly surprised. After all, it had only been a short time since he entered everyone's field of vision. Unexpectedly, no Jounin had any objections to him becoming the Hokage. Putting on the royal robe with red fire patterns on the white background, he took the Hokage hat from Jiraiya. Hinata Naruto walked to the rooftop of the Hokage building. On this rooftop, there is Shadow Rock behind and the villagers of Konoha in front. He has never walked up here before. However, Hinata Naruto is also very familiar with this place. In the original book, Pain flew up to the sky to carry rice from here. Hinata Naruto walked slowly to the front of the rooftop and looked at the crows below. The overwhelming mass of Konoha villagers. From today on, I am the 5th Hokage of Konoha. In an instant, applause and cheers resounded. After a long time, the villagers below became quiet. Hinata Naruto continued. Well, the first thing I will announce next is to list Sarutobi Hiruzen as Konoha's S-class rebel ninja. At the same time, Konoha will issue an ultimatum to Kumogakure village, demanding that they hand over the traitorous ninja Sarutobi Hiruzen. As he said that, Hyuga Naruto turned around and faced the 3rd Hokage rock statue behind him, hitting the chakra shockwave of Bagua Kong Palm. Boom! Under the near-perfect chakra control, Sarutobi Hiruzen's rock statue was completely shattered. Cracked. The 2nd and 4th generation rock statues on both sides were not affected in any way. The villagers below saw the scene clearly. There was silence for a moment. Good. A crazy cheer resounded throughout Konoha. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the 3rd Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 101. Iwagakure Village, Tsuchikage Building. Take your time, tell me one by one first. The 3rd Tsuchikage 2-day scale Oniki quickly stopped his son's chattering. Lois paused, sorted out his thoughts, and said. Previously, Konoha, led by a young man named Hyuga Naruto, repelled Kumogakure's assault force, and even chased directly to Kumogakure village and blocked the entrance to Kumogakure village. How can it be? Onoki retorted subconsciously. Don't I understand the fourth Hokage's temper? How could he let people block him outside his village? During the Third Ninja War, Onaki mobilized tens of thousands of Iwagakure ninjas to encircle and suppress the Third Hokage. However, after successfully killing the Third Hokage, the battle between Iwagakure and Kumogakure was not over. At that time, the son of the Third Hokage, he soon succeeded the Fourth Hokage and continued to wage war against the Land of Earth. Onoki had fought against the Fourth Hokage many times, and he still remembers the Fourth Hokage's fiery temper. I can't believe it either, but it's true. Huang Tu said with a wry smile. During this period of time, he received too much news, many of which made him almost unable to believe it. Previously, the Third Hokage of Konoha, Sarutobi Hiruzen, defected to Kumogakure village. Unexpectedly, Kumogakure village was defeated and was blocked in the village with the Fourth Hokage. Not only that, Hyuga Nariku also demanded that Kumogakure hand over Sarutobi Hiruzen within 7 days. Puff. Onoki burst out laughing. Ha 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 ha, I remember that Hokage asked Konoha to hand over the murderer within 7 days, right? That kid named Hinata Nariku is really good at playing. The situations between him and Sarutobi Hiruzen are now completely reversed. That's right. Huang Tu couldn't help but smile. Sarutobi Hiruzen had a very difficult time in Kumogakure. People often tried to assassinate him, but he could not fight back. Well, if he fought back, Hokage must have helped the Kumogakure ninja to deal with him. Onoki nodded and said, and then asked. What happened next? What's going on now? Later. Huang Tu swallowed his saliva, with a look of shock in his eyes. That Hyuga Nariku used some unknown means to cut off 2 mountains over 100 meters high, and smashed the Union village open. Because of this, the Fourth Hokage had to surrender. 2 mountains. Onoki was silent for a while before saying. He stretched out his hand and gestured in front of him. If 2 mountains with a height of 100 meters hit him, would his dust release be able to catch it? If he is in good condition and tries his best, he might be able to catch it. Decompose 1 mountain. For the second one, I don't know if the chakra is enough. Moreover, if 2 mountains are forcibly decomposed like this, he probably won't have much fighting power. The Konoha ninja named Hyuga Nariku, the strength is a bit scary. Well, it's not over yet. Huang Tu turned the information in his hand to the next page with some trembling hands. After Kumogakure surrendered, Hyuga Nariku took the Konoha ninjas and stationed directly into Kumogakure village. Onoki frowned. He didn't think that the Fourth Hokage would just give in. Sure enough, soon, he saw his son continuing. According to the news from the spies, the Fourth Hokage used the pretense of negotiation to delay the Konoha ninjas, but was actually secretly creating a secret weapon. Our spies didn't know what the secret weapon was, but before Kumogakure wanted to use the secret weapon, all the Kumogakure villagers and many ninjas were quietly evacuated. Yet. Onoki nodded slowly and said with a cold snort. That young man in Konoha is still too arrogant, thinking that with some strength he can be invincible. He actually entered Union village directly. Isn't this an opportunity to attack people? In Onoki's view, although he doesn't know what Kumogakure's secret weapon is. But Kumogakure can expect a secret weapon that can solve the problem at once, and it is a sudden attack. Whether it is Hyuga Nariku or other Momo no matter ninja. They are all destined to die. Huang Tu was silent for a while. He reached out and handed a photo to his father. What's this? Onoki took the photo and saw a bottomless canyon above. The person who took the photo seemed to have taken the photo while standing on a nearby mountain peak. However, even at this height, he still could not capture the end of the canyon. However, Onoki quickly figured out. This is not a natural canyon. This was cut out by something. It is not so much a canyon as a sword mark. You wouldn't say that this was caused by Kumogakure's secret weapon, right? Onoki asked in surprise. What kind of weapon has Union Village developed? It can create such traces. Lois shook his head with a very complicated expression. That's good. Onoki breathed a sigh of relief. If Kumogakure really developed such a secret weapon, he might have trouble sleeping and eating. This shouldn't be caused by Kumogakure's secret weapon. The spies who were asked to evacuate together with Kumogakure's villagers had seen the light shining on Kumogakure's side. That light should be Kumogakure's secret weapon. After that, Huangtu said with unconcealable horror in his eyes. All the Union villagers who evacuated together saw that all the mountain peaks in Union Village had been bulldozed. Union is built among the mountains. Many buildings are on the mountainside. The canyon in the photo just now, according to the spy's report, was cut out by a golden sword that couldn't tell how long it was. The ninja who went to survey the situation near Kumogakure reported that the canyon-like sword mark was dozens of kilometers long. Impossible. Onoki directly denied it and said, "How can a person be so strong?" At this point, Onoki suddenly stopped. He suddenly recalled his experience when he went to Konoha with his teacher, the second-generation Tsuchikage Mu. Uchiha Madara. There used to be two ninjas back then, but now people can't even imagine how strong they were. How is this possible? Onoki muttered to himself absent-mindedly. How could there be such a strong ninja now? Huangtu didn't know what his father was feeling, so he continued. Later, when our spy and the Union villagers returned to Union, they found that the entire Union village had been bulldozed. Except for the place where Konoha ninjas were stationed before, all other places were razed to the ground. The fourth Hokage of Kumogakure village and the eight-tailed Jinchuriki rabbi were all killed in battle. There were about 2,000 ninjas left in the village, but few survived. Onoki was silent. The ninja who can bulldoze a ninja village by one person is indeed at the level of Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. Lord Tsuchikage. An Umbu suddenly came in and reported. News came back from the communications team that Konoha's third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and the Kirigakure ninjas attacked Konoha Ninja Village, but failed. Onoki's mind was dull for a moment. Kirigakure? He asked subconsciously. Why Kirigakure? Lois is also confused. The news he received before was only about Hyuga Nariku bulldozing Kumogakure. He also doesn't know where Sarutobi Hiruzen went after that. It was indeed Kirigakure. The Umbu who reported it said. One of the 7 ninja swordsmen of Kirigakure, led by Tsukuyomi Fuguo and thousands of Kirigakure ninjas, led by Hiruzen Sarutobi, raided the Leaf Village. Onoki and Huangtu looked at each other, and there was no doubt. Sarutobi Hiruzen was indeed in cahoots with Kirigakure. Although they had no idea what the relationship was. Sarutobi Hiruzen was not blocked in Kumogakure. Are you in the village? How come you can suddenly run away to Kirigakure? Then what? Onoki asked. The Kirigakure ninja was intercepted outside the village by Konoha, but Sarutobi Hiruzen entered the village. Later, Sarutobi Hiruzen took himself and several former Konoha elder family ninjas to launch a rebellion. The details are not clear yet, but the ninjas from Konoha who went to Kumogakure, including Hyuga Nariku who led the team, suddenly returned to Konoha by some unknown means and wiped out the rebellion. That Hyuga Nariku has now succeeded the 5th Hokage. Furthermore, it was announced that Hiruzen Sarutobi was an S-class rebel ninja and demanded that Kirigakure village hand over Hiruzen Sarutobi. After listening to the Umbu report, Onomura frowned in pain. So, did Hiruzen Sarutobi really get together with Kirigakure? And join forces with Kirigakure to attack Konoha? Onoki felt a little ridiculous. Konoha, Kumogakure, and Kirigakure, the 3 ninja villages were fighting together, and Iwagakure alone didn't know what happened. Within such a period of time, Kumogakure's 4th Hokage died. The 3rd Hokage of Konoha defected and is now suspected to be in Kirigakure. The fifth Hokage of Konoha came to power and asked Kumogakure to hand over the defected third Hokage. The entire ninja world was changing without their knowledge, and they were rock hidden villages like quitting the ninja world chat group. Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 102. Onoki thought for a long time and asked. What is the current situation of Kumo Hidden Village? Who is in control of Kumo Hidden Village after the death of the fourth Raikage? According to the news passed back by the spies, Kumogakure's Raikage assistant, the melting release ninja Dode, served as the Raikage's agent. Although Huangtu didn't know what his father meant, he still answered seriously. Earth platform. Onoki nodded lightly. He had an impression of this person. He was the Raikage's assistant during the third Raikage period. Now that Kumogakure village has suddenly lost two high-level combat forces, it's okay for him to serve as the acting Raikage. However, Todai does not seem to have any intention of officially becoming the Raikage. Huangtu turned over a page of information and replied. He was not surprised by Todai's idea. The Yanyan village also has the melting escape blood boundary. However, they are both melting escape, but the properties they show are different. For example, my daughter Kuratsuka's melting style is in the form of cement. But Dode's melting style looks more like rubber. With the elasticity of the rubber-like melting style, Dode's defensive power is good, but the frontal combat effectiveness is not enough. Especially when serving as Kumogakure, the shadow of such an aggressive village is even worse. Cloud Hidden Village seems to be seizing the time to train young people, hoping that someone will be able to serve as the fifth Raikage as soon as possible. Lois report said. What about the losses in the previous battles between Kumogakure and Konoha? Onoki nodded and asked meaningfully. Huangtu was startled, and then said. Kumogakure had previously raided the Land of Fire, with a team of about 3,000 people. Only 2 members of the AB group escaped, and the second tail Jinchuriki was captured. In the subsequent battle in Union Village, it is not certain how many people participated in the battle, but it should have been more than 1,000 people, and not many survived. The team of 3,000 people was completely wiped out. Onoki looked solemn and became more determined in his thoughts. Get ready for the expedition, target Union Village. If the 5th Hokage Hyuga Nariku who just took office in Konoha is really comparable to the 2 Konoha people back then, their current power in Iwagakure village will be difficult to resist. However, if they can get enough from Kumogakure village, if they gain more, they can greatly strengthen the power of their Iwagakure village. Of course, Iwagakure village can also choose to join forces with Kumogakure to fight against Konoha. But who the hell would join forces with Kumogakure? Those dogs of Kumogakure, the robbers, have long wanted to kill them. It is true that they kill him while he is sick. Kirigakure village. The residence of the elder Yuanchi. Terumi Mei has just finished reporting on the recent series of events. Hyuga Nariku, a ninja from the Hyuga clan of Konoha, succeeded the 5th Hokage. Moreover, they also issued an ultimatum to us, requiring us to hand over Konoha's S-class rebel ninja, the former 3rd generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. At first, Terumi Mei was also shocked by Hinata Nariku's record and strength. However, later, she focused on Hinata Nariku's age. At 18 years old, she has already become the Hokage of Konoha. She is also the Hokage this year. At this age, Elder Genshi also prefers her to be the 5th Mizukage. However, the prerequisite is to overthrow the rule of the 4th Mizukage Goju Yagura. However, although she has mastered the 2 blood inheritance limits of boiling, melting and melting, now she is also there is absolutely no match for Goda Kibana Yagura, the 3-tailed Jinchuriki. They are obviously the same age, so why is there such a big gap? Hyuga Nariku. The old master Yuen moved his lips slightly and read out the name. Like Onoki, he had lived a long time and had seen the power of those 2 in Konoha. However, Genshi cannot confirm whether Hyuga Naraka really has power comparable to Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. Kirigakure, which is isolated and closed overseas, has a much lower ability to collect intelligence. Many details of the battle between Konoha and Kumogakure are still unknown to them. Did fourth generation respond? After a moment of silence, Master Yuen asked. There was no response, and we still don't know if Sarutobi Hiruzen is in Kirigakure. Terumi. Mei said with an extremely strange look. The third Hokage of Konoha defected. And, according to Konoha, Hiruzen Sarutobi still escaped to them. When did their Kirigakure village harbor the defected Hokage? Her village, even the famous elite Jonin here don't know about it? Didn't the village send a team to go on an expedition before? What's the specific situation? Genshi suddenly changed the question and said. Previously, the fourth generation Mizukage Goju Yagura suddenly sent a team of 1,000 people to attack Konoha. However, this expedition was very secretive. Even he, an elder, only arrived after the team set off. New. Only a few dozen people came back, and they all escaped in scattered ways. Ao, who wears a black eye patch on his right eye, replied with a bitter look on his face. Even if he doesn't have much friendship with those ninjas, they are all Kirigakure's ninjas. 1,000 people go out to fight, and only a few come back alive. Of the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost and the Inked Persimmon Kisame who led the expedition came back alive, but they didn't come back together. Previously, the fourth Mizukage-sama announced that the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Demon escaped without authorization during the war, resulting in the failure of the battle, and had been executed. His same hata was inherited by Kisame Inagaki, and Kisame Inagaki is now in charge of the Umbu. Terumi. Mei said, holding her forehead slightly. Too many things have happened in recent days. She can't understand many things at all. Until now, the fourth generation has not said anything other than announcing that the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost was executed. Moreover, even when the news of the death of the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost was announced, it was the Umbu who came forward, and the Yondaime himself did not come forward. Ao rubbed his chin and said. He felt something was wrong with the fourth Mizukage. A few years ago, the fourth Mizukage began to live in seclusion and rarely appeared. But this time, Konoha asked Kirigakure to hand over the defected Hokage. Logically speaking, the fourth generation should come forward and respond. Whether it is to the ninjas of Kirigakure or to Konoha, there must be an explanation. However, the fourth generation has not even come forward. If the Umbu were not still operating normally, I even doubted whether the fourth Mizukage was dead. The third Hokage of Konoha may have some connection with the Mizukage, so the fourth generation sent people to attack Konoha. Genshi thought for a while and said. Watermelon Mountain Puffer Demon and Inagangaki Kisame, these two are Umbu under the fourth Mizukage. They can't get any information from them. However, now the fourth generation has not responded at all, which is very problematic. Master. Yuen couldn't help but frown, and combined with some of his previous thoughts, he guessed. The fourth generation may be controlled by someone. Only in this way can we explain these things. Including the increasingly harsh blood mist policy of the fourth Mizukage in recent years. And the current attitude of not responding. Being controlled? How is it possible? Isn't the fourth generation a perfect Jinhuriki? Ao couldn't help but asked. How could a perfect Jinhuriki be controlled by someone using illusions? Suddenly, he thought of something and touched his right eye. It was a white eye. If the fourth generation lived in seclusion, he was worried about being controlled by him. Byakugan can see the illusion, so it makes sense. Moreover, the person who controls the fourth generation cannot express the fourth generation Mizukage perfectly, so it makes sense to go out less. Master Yuen looked at Ching who understood, and clicked. He nodded and said. If the Yondaime does not reply, there may be a war between Konoha and Kumogakure. When the time comes, Ching, you must seize the opportunity and find a way to confirm the status of the fourth generation.